Hello everyone. Welcome to ML for Analytics. I am Jyoti Dikshit and today I am going to cover the concept of circular dependency in data modeling using Power BI and DAX. So let's get started. Uh, in this particular video, I will be covering few important functions of DAX, all and all no blank row, values and distinct, what is circular dependency, using DAX to avoid circular dependency. Before that, let me tell you that the database that I'm going to use in this particular video is Contoso, and you will be able to find this on Microsoft website, and there you will be able to install it using SQL Server. So I'll give you the link to set it up on your own machine, as in how you can do that in the description box. So first, let me tell you about the tables and other things that I'm going to use over here. So these two tables, they are in a Contoso database itself, and you can see I have loaded three tables over here. These two tables, that is dimension product. This product table is actually a dimension table, and this fact sales is actually a fact table. This price range, I have manually created it in Power BI desktop. As in, if you go to home and if you go to enter data, then you will be able to create any new table that you want. You can specify the column name over here, and you can type in the values of that particular column, etc. And if you want any second column, then you can mention the name of that second column over here, and you can type whatever values you want in this particular table over here. And you can name your table by actually editing this particular input. So I'll click on cancel for now because I already created this. So what I'll do is let me show you how this particular table looks like, and then you will be able to relate to it. So if I go to price range, then it is having four columns in total. First column is actually price range ID, which is the unique key for primary key for this particular table, and it has class. And it has minimum price and it has max price or maximum price. So we can see that price range 0 to 10 belongs to very low class. Price range 10 to 15, 50 belongs to low class. Price range 50 to 100 belongs to middle class, and so on. 100 to 1000 to high class, and 1000 to 99,999 to very high class. So this is how this particular table has been created over here. I'll click on close and apply for now, and I'll directly go to my data model, and we can see that we are having four columns over here. Though product and the sales tables, they are related to one-to-many relationship. They are having one-to-many relationship between them, and product table is able to filter fact sales table, but vice versa can't happen because of the direction of relationship. So direction of relationship is single, and product is able to filter sales. The key that we are using in order to establish this relationship is product key. But price range is not having any relationship between these two tables. And what we will be doing in this particular video is establishing a relationship between price range and fact sales table in this case. So for now, we can see that fact sales doesn't have the any key, any primary key that is price range ID in it, in fact sales. We are not having a price range key or price range ID in fact sales. So we are not able to establish any relationship. And if by chance we want to see that how much amount of sales belongs to each of the classes, we won't be able to do so. If you want to test, I can actually go over here, and what I can do is I can open fields pane, and what I can do is bring up this class over here and sales amount from fact sales, and I can see that this is actually the total of sales amount, as in the total of sales amount is coming over here, and the class is not able to filter these sales amounts. So uh, filter context is not going to flow from class to sales amount. Why? Why? Because we are not having any relationship between fact sales and price range, and we are going to create that relationship in this particular video. Before going ahead with that, let us go to theory part and first of all understand about few of the DAX functions that are going to be used in this particular video. The first one is distinct. So these definition I have taken from Microsoft documentation. Distinct says that distinct is going to return one column table that contains the distinct values from the specified column. In other words, duplicate values are removed and only unique values are returned. So, like the name suggests, it is going to fetch all the unique values out of a column. So, but it is not going to return any blank row in that particular table. In one column table, we are going to see all of the distinct values specified in that particular column, which we give to distinct function as an argument, but blank row is not going to be returned. Now let us talk about values. When the input parameter is a column name, returns a one column table that contains the distinct values from the specified column. Duplicate values are removed and only unique values are returned. Till this point, it is same as distinct. The twist comes over here. A blank value can be added. So if in the column that you have specified in values as an argument, if blank rows are there, then one blank row is going to be returned as the output of values function. You can also pass a table name to values. We are not going to use that in this particular video as in passing a table name as an argument to values function, but still for your understanding, we can cover that. When the input parameter is a table name, it returns the rows from the specified table. Duplicate rows in the case of tables, they are preserved. A blank row can be added. So with values, blank is going to be there as an output. In all, it returns all the rows in a table or all the values in a column, ignoring any filters that might have been applied. This function is useful for creating filters and creating calculation on all the rows in a table. So all function actually ignores any of the outer or inner filter context in your data model. We are going to cover this particular function in detail in a separate video, but for the purpose of this video, all is going to return all of the rows. It is going to function in the same way as values, because in case of all, even blank row is going to be returned. In all blank row, it will function in the same manner as all, except that no blank row is going to be returned. Okay, so What I have done in this particular, in order to create a relationship between fact sales and price range, I am going to create an ID in fact sales, that is price range ID, using DAX. So and then we will be having one key over here also and one key over here also, on the basis of which we will be able to establish a relationship. So if I go over here and I click on price range ID, then it is going to show me in the formula that I have used in order to create this particular calculated column. So I'm going to establish this relationship using a calculated column for fact sales table. So in this I have used calculate function. In calculate, in the place of measure, I have used values price range ID column of price range table. So this price range ID, remember price range ID is the column of price range column. And we have already entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as IDs in this particular price range table. In the case of filter, I have specified this in filter function. The first argument is the table, is the name of the table, and the second argument is the filter that I am going to apply. So I have said that if I want the minimum price to be less than the unit price and the maximum price to be greater than the unit price, and on the basis of this I will be having this price range ID. So I have unit price column in fact sales table, and it is going to iterate on all of the rows of fact sales table, and it will actually see this particular condition as in how it turns out, and on the basis of that this price range ID over here, it is going to be returned in that case. So, okay, now what is going to happen is over here, you can see I have used values function over here. Okay, so if I go over here and if I try to create a relationship between price range ID, between fact sales and price range, I will be thrown this error over here. It is going to tell me create relationship. Oops, a circular dependency was detected, and something over here. I don't know what this, but what is important for me is this error. A circular dependency was detected. So what exactly has happened over here? What is actually a circular dependency? So now we are going to cover that over here. So I'll go to report view, and I can see that in DAX I have used values over here. Okay, and this is going to return me all the values in price range ID table of price range table of price range ID column. But if due to something happens in fact sales table, and in fact sales table for price range ID column, which is created in fact sales table, a blank row is there. A blank row comes, or any price range ID, any value of price range ID is going to come, which is not there in price range table, which is serving as the dimension table for the sales table. Then in that case, what is going to happen? In that case, in order to maintain referential integrity, DAX is going to introduce a blank row in price range table. Why is this happening? It is because if we establish a relationship between two tables, then what happens is that the tables uh, During loading, the tables actually expand by applying left outer join. Left outer join gets applied, and in that case table expansion occurs, and if any rows they are getting mismatched, then in that case in the dimension table a blank row is inserted. And if that happens, then because of the application of values function over here, I in the price range ID column of tax sales, I am not only having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from price range ID column of price range table. I will also be having that blank row as the output in case of sales table. So in that case, uh, using DAX, I am find that in sales table using DAX, I am having this particular dependency of introducing price range ID, but because of the obtaining referential integrity and because of using values over here, I am also going to introduce this blank row in price range table because of the DAX formula that I am using. So both of these two tables have got dependent on each other. A sales table has got dependent on price range table using DAX, and a price range table has a dependency on sales table because of values function. Because if due to any case this happens, any mismatched values they are going to happen, then blank row is going to be introduced in price range table. And then again using DAX, it is going to flow in sales table. So because we are using values, and values is going to have blank as the output, blank as one of the rows, and it will be there in sales table, and it will go on and on. So that is why over here DAX is not or Power BI is not allowing us, or the engine is not allowing us to create any relationship between them. In order to resolve this, I am going to use distinct over here. So in place of values, I am going to use distinct over here, and I'm going to click OK. And now if I go over here and now I try to create a relationship between them, it works. So now price range is on the one side of this relationship and tax sales is on the many side of this relationship, and the relationship has been created. And now if I go to this particular page, I can see that now the filter context from the price range table is able to pass to fact sales table over here. So now this particular thing has worked. So in order to avoid circular dependency, it is best to use a distinct in place of values, or all no blank row in place of all. Because what happens is that values is going to have blank row as one of the row in the table that it is going to return, and distinct is not going to have any blank row. So, and same applies to all and all no blank row. So this is how it actually happens. So guys, with this I conclude this video. I hope you found it useful, and if it's really the case, then I request you to like this video, share this video, subscribe to our channel to keep on getting these videos on data modeling. And if you have any issues or if you have any suggestions with what we are uh, what we are teaching and how we can actually improvise the things, then please let us know in the comment section and stay tuned. Thank you.